Hey, it's Kelly. It is Friday, the day after Thanksgiving. Um, and I am here just to talk a little bit about the holiday that we just had. So if you were a person who was observing any kind of holiday yesterday, Thanksgiving, Friendsgiving, Day of Remembrance, Day of Mourning, whatever it is, and you were getting together with people and there was food, whatever it was or was not, okay? And also whatever it was not, this is also important. Take a minute today to reassess and figure out like what the three high points of the day were, if there were any. And if there weren't any that you would call actual high points, pick the three best moments for yourself. So if your high point of the day at a day full of family drama and people you didn't want to be with and food you didn't like was the 2 minutes that you had with your person in a quiet room while everybody else was in the kitchen or something like that, then I want you to write that down. So pick your three high points could be like I had, my entire family and everybody I loved was there. And that was the thing that you liked best. Or the conversation, or the pickup football game, or the fact that you all played Jenga, or whatever it was. Put the three things that were your top things. And it could be something about the food or the drink, or the fact that you took the one food that is meaningful to you, even though nobody asked you, and even if nobody else likes it, if that made you happy. Those three things that made you the happiest yesterday, or that were like the best moments for you yesterday, write those three things down, right? Oh, and I still have a clip in my hair. Nice. And if you have, then flip it, right? And the three things that you could have just done without. The three things that you could have done without, it could be like you could have done without your sister bringing her dog. You could have done without your uncle being there. Thanks, I love my crow too. You could have done without turkey because you've decided that, you know what, once and for all, you are going to be vegetarian, right? Whatever it is, the three things that you could have done without. You could have done without people discussing politics at the table. You could have done without somebody dead naming a person in your presence. You could have done without whatever it is. Okay? Write those three things down. So you've got your three highs and your three lows. And there are a bunch more holidays coming up this year, right? Chances are good that you celebrate at least one more thing this year coming up in December. We've got Hanukkah, we've got solstice, we've got Christmas, we've got Kwanzaa, we've got New Year's. Chances are good you're going to celebrate at least one of those things coming up. So figure out how can you get more of those things that were on your good list, and how can you get rid of things that were on your not so good list. And if your not so good list was like, you know what, I didn't like being at my parents' house. Figure out, can you not be at your parents' house? Okay? If it was not an issue for me, both of mine passed this year, right? But if it's like I want to avoid certain people, or I want to avoid certain experiences, or I don't like going to that house because it's really smoky and I just can't stand it. I don't like it, right? It feels icky to me. Whatever it is, if you've got a negative, see how you can structure your next coming holidays so that those things do not come into play. And see how you can structure your next coming holidays so that you have more of the things that made you happy yesterday. So if it was a quiet moment, how can you get more quiet? If it was a fun moment, how can you get more fun? If it turned out that somebody bringing a silly board game that you never played before was the thing that made your day, go buy a board game, right? Whatever. But let's do a little bit of assessment now for what's coming up in December. And thank you so much to Crow's Moon's Magic for sending your thoughts, because it's been an interesting year. For me, the thing that I missed the most yesterday was actually phoning my parents, because we didn't spend Thanksgiving together. They didn't want to. So Mars and I always spend it with his relatives. We spent it with his relatives again yesterday. It was fantastic. We love these people. They're amazing. And the food is amazing. And still one of my favorite moments was a moment when it was the two of us in the living room and it was quiet, just because it's a lot of people and a lot of noise for people who don't people and noise that much, right? So there's that. But yeah, for whatever your thing is, for me it was missing the phone call that like I can't make, right? Oh, hi Corey. I'm so glad to know, because I never remember when it's like I'm actually Can, right, is my username. I'm Kelly, but like most people don't remember who who goes with what. So I will remember that you are Corey. Corey likes my crow, which was like a thing. Hey Trisha. So yeah, that's the thing I would do, is like just like a little post-event analysis. 3 things that you loved from yesterday that went really well, whether it's your favorite dish, your favorite people, your favorite place, an activity, whatever it was, like I said, a quiet moment alone, or whether, and then 3 things that were like your least favorite things. And so coming up into the December holidays, how can you do more of the good? And how can you drop off some of the other stuff? And yes, if you are doing something where it's like, yeah, I'm not going to my aunt's house anymore because the whole place smells like cigarette smoke and it makes me gag, right? Will your aunt's feelings be hurt? You know what? Probably. And also, that's not really your problem. That's hers to deal with. And that sounds really kind of shitty sometimes because we're taught to prioritize everybody else. But it's also worth prioritizing yourself, because if your definition of like who you love doesn't include yourself, then you're missing something. Anyway, yeah, right. Costs, exactly. Her smoking has costs she needs to deal with. And that's the thing, right? And most people, let's face it, if that was your issue, it's not an issue for me. But if it were your issue, like most people who smoke know that the smoke bothers people. So again, it's fine, but look at your things, your 3 things that were great, your 3 things that were not so great. How can you get more of the good? How can you get rid of some of those things that you didn't like? Try that. And it's good to be mindful of it now, because like I said, you've got at least one more holiday coming up in December. All right. Take care. Have a good day. Thanks for joining me.